Hello everyone, Jonathan Burns here, and thank you for joining me on a program entitled Tuesday Tips. We're studying practical tips from poetry as we take a few minutes of our day on Tuesday to learn more about God's Word. If you'd like to learn more about God's Word, go visit the Jurong Church of Christ. You can find them on Facebook or YouTube. On Facebook, just search for Jurong Church of Christ, and you'll find all their information and their address about how you can visit them in Singapore. Maybe you'd like to learn more about all the things they do. Go to their website, jurongcoc.org, and you can find information about the ministries that they offer and even Bible study resources to help you study God's Word. In today's Tuesday Tips, we're going to talk about words. And we're going to talk about the words of daily life. In other words, the words you and I use every day. Not when we're talking about God or when we're in a worship service, but how we interact with everybody. When you're in the queue, standing in line, how you converse with your neighbors. When you're having someone in your home, how you talk to them. When you meet somebody on the street or maybe even on the MRT, those are the words that I'm concerned about. Because I want to tell you a truth about your words, about your tongue. The tongue is a powerful force for good or evil. And that's what we have to figure out today about our tongues. Now, when it comes to this idea, I want you to know something about your tongue. Looking at the book of Proverbs, from Proverbs 6, 16, and 17, God has a standard. These 6 things the Lord hates. Yes, 7 are an abomination to Him. A proud look, a lying tongue, hands that shed innocent blood. You can read the rest of those things that God strongly opposes, that God abhors, that God turns His face from in the book of Proverbs and Proverbs 6. But among a proud look and among hands that shed innocent blood is this phrase, a lying tongue. That tells me and that tells you that God has a standard of truth. And not only that, there is truth among our lives. Did you do that? Yes or no? Have you done this? Yes or no? Would you do this? Yes or no? The New Testament tells us to let our yes be yes and our no be no. Our words should be words of truth. There is a standard not only of God's Word, but of our living. And in that thought, that tells me from Proverbs 12 that we have an opportunity. The truthful lips shall be established forever, but a lying tongue is but for a moment. The words we use, the truth or lie that we tell, people will know. They will know us by our words, they will know us by our truth, or they will know us by our falsehoods. It's much better for someone to say about you and about me that this person is honest. And that has to do with your tongue, your words. It can be used for good or it can be used for evil. You and I have an opportunity to establish ourselves as someone of truth, not just of God's truth, but telling the regular, everyday truth. Or be someone who lives in a moment as a liar. You see, we've got to be people who recognize there are opportunities. But what we also have to know from Proverbs 21 is we've got to let trouble leave. Whoever guards his mouth and tongue keeps his soul from trouble. Do you understand from this particular scene that your words mean something? And your life can be much better if you'll just tell the truth. Not only should we tell the truth, but kindness is king. In Proverbs 31:26, she opens her mouth with wisdom, and on her tongue is the law of kindness. Proverbs 31 giving great attributes of a woman who is of God, a virtuous woman. You see, your tongue, my tongue, it's going to say a lot about us, about our hearts, about our minds, about our attitudes. But it's the words that we use in daily life that the proverb writer writes about. And he tells us, pay attention, because your tongue is either for good or it's for evil. And that's our Tuesday tip today. to take practical tips from poetry, to know that the words of daily life, they really matter and they really affect how we live. I'm Jonathan Burns. Thanks for joining me on Tuesday Tips. Join me back next week as we study some more tips from poetry.